Greetings, everyone. My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music for the first time, and today is a debut on the channel for a game called Terraria. I'm gonna say Terraria. But we're gonna be listening to two songs called Underground and Boss 2. Both are from the channel Leandro. These are requested by Justin and David over on Patreon. Thank you very much. Very, very quickly, it's funny because I was just asking people what are some games that you're surprised I haven't done yet, and I was actually a little bit of Terraria came up, so very odd timing that this is coming here because it has nothing to do with me asking that question. But here we go. Never heard of this game. Don't know who composed it. If I had to guess based on the name and the backgrounds, it has to do a lot with Earth. Let's go. We are starting with Underground from Terraria. I was turning on my volume and I heard that. I thought I glitched out my interface. Ooh. Is this an older game? Oh, I just noticed that the font in the logo is like paths. Is it a top-down game, like bird's eye view? Whoa. We have two sound designs here. Modern music and like chiptune at the same time. Huh? That's trippy. Whoa, dude, this is like it feels like a time machine. It's like the history of video game music on the right and like modern video game music on the left. What is this? It has such a like video game sound to it though. Ooh, dude. It sounds pretty inspired by the Commodore 64, which I've been hearing lately. Which apparently uses the SID chip. SID. Am I wrong about that? I was saying the right chip. Dude, that is tripping me out. Yeah, the sound interface device SID chip for the Commodore 64. What is this? Well, I can see why it was requested. Holy moly, we still have another one to go, but okay. At first, when I like the first 30 seconds or so, I was thinking, oh, maybe this is an older game. It honestly sounds like it could be an older game. I don't know why, but the title of Terraria for some reason just screams to me like maybe an older NES or SNES game. Oh, you know why? I just realized I just did a video for Terranigma, which was like that era. So I guess I was kind of like confusing with that in a way. But like I said, I was asking people for like the most iconic video game stuff, and considering this was mentioned a couple times, I figured, you know, a lot of the answers I would get would be like for classic games and stuff. Now I'm not so sure because that sounded pretty modern, but to me it sounded like someone who grew up with video games. And I'm sure it's been around, and I feel like I've heard little bits and pieces of that. Not a lot. I feel like I've heard something like that maybe once or twice on the entire channel, slash my entire life, where they combine this simultaneously like a newer modern sound with chiptune stuff underneath, or at the same exact time, just on different channels. Which in this case, it was all the chiptune stuff was on the right, and all the modern was on the left. That was so bizarre. It felt kind of like an out-of-body experience. Like, if you grew up with video games, you're kind of, at least for me, it felt like I was seeing myself as a kid and seeing myself as an adult at the exact same time. It was pretty weird. But at the same time, I gotta see when this game was made. But at the same time, it's this really cool thing that I always thought to myself that one day I would hear it. When I was growing up, I always thought of something like this, that it would happen, that eventually the kids, which are now my age, would be composing and making music. They probably grew up with these games, and they want to eventually call them back. And Toby Fox does that. Who else does that? Danny B from Crypto the Necrodancer does that. I feel like you can tell that these people in their, let's just say, late 20s to maybe early 40s, anywhere in that range, you can hear like the direct influence here, which is very, very cool. So I'm gonna assume this game is actually sometime in the past, like 5-ish years, 5-10 years. I'll look it up later. But yeah, that was pretty cool. Although I don't know if this image is supposed to match the song title at all. I thought it was at first, but it's called Underground, and we're looking at anything but underground. So yeah, and then yeah, like the logo seems to be like a huge callback to like those old school top-down bird's eye view RPGs with the little like paths. That's pretty cool. I'm just gonna move on to the second one right now because I'm still kind of shocked by that. Whoa! The views on these. This one has 2.6 million and this one has 1.9. I just saw that. Okay. When were they uploaded? 8 years ago. Okay. See, that's the thing with music. This is timeless. It doesn't really matter how. That could have sounded like it was made yesterday. Okay. Well, we're going straight to boss 2. I don't know if there's so many bosses, but based on just the generic name of it, this is probably like a generic boss theme, so it's not a specific one. Or the second boss you fight. Either way, I'm excited for a boss fight song that's gonna sound from this game. This is a weird soundtrack, but a good kind of weird. All right, this is boss 2 from Terraria. Oh, Pizza Tower was the other one where it's like made to sound kind of older. Ooh, I love the amount of swells we have in both songs. The This is composer. I really want to know the influences of this composer. What games they played growing up. Honestly, yeah. the whole soundtrack. Oh, it's already over. Oh man. Well, I can see why people said like, I can't believe you haven't done Terraria yet. I was just mentioning this the other day. I don't know when or where or what video, but I just know it had to do with. I think it might have been my recent Undertale videos. It probably was, because basically what I said was something along the lines of, look how many views Undertale gets, and I don't mean here. I mean like Undertale anything is like millions and millions, and then I look at this and this has millions. This has such a fan base. This type of music has such a fan base, and I don't know if it's a mixture of things. I mean, I know a lot of video game music right now is cool, current day, but I think a lot of us can agree that a lot of it is kind of, well, it doesn't sound like this. Let's just say that it doesn't sound like this. A lot of it is just kind of more orchestral and less on this very like nostalgic kind of, I guess, old school sound, you know. But as you can see, it's still doing very well. Like every time I hear these kind of things for like Pizza Tower, Undertale, what else? Pokemon still kind of does it a little bit. This apparently, there's another one. Oh, I remember where I said it is because I just did a video for Commodore 64, and that I slightly compared it to Undertale, how it's kind of like the modern day sound of the Commodore 64, but yet a lot of people don't know the Commodore 64 music. Now, I'm not saying the Commodore 64 was like the first to do it and maybe the most iconic, but it definitely has its own unique sound for sure. And those videos obviously get like nowhere near as many views. If anything, those are kind of like under the radar, and mostly, no offense, but like older gamers or older people only know it because that was like the home computer of the early 80s, which, I mean, that was before my time, but I'm pretty sure gaming was like nowhere near, you know, its popularity like in the early 90s. So basically what I'm saying is like the Commodore 64 and the Atari, stuff like that, like the music, I don't say it was like ahead of its time, but it was, at least sound wise. And it's just, it's really cool to hear that it's still being emulated here in modern day, but still has recognition, and in a way can kind of, here's the way I see it, like whether that's through me like signal boosting these videos or anywhere else, it doesn't matter how you ingest, like let's use Terraria for example. These are the kind of games where, and like Undertale as well, stuff like that, where it'll become like a gateway. So maybe someone's brand new to this style, they were born maybe in the 2000s or something, and then they're like, what is that? I want to hear more like that. And then you start to do like some research and you go back to the Commodore 64 and your Atari, your NES. So that's really cool. That like, so the fact that I can play a tiny little part of that is great, because I need to hear more of the older stuff. I haven't heard a lot of video game music from the 80s. Like the history of VGM, you know, I should one day like get into it, but I'm not a historian by any means. It was just before my time. I grew up in the 90s, so the era of the Sega Genesis, PlayStation 1, etc. But I've always been aware of this sound. But this sounds really, really cool, because this sounds like we've come full circle. This sounds like someone who grew up with games, loved games, made it a career, is calling back to those games with their own flavor, and it's just kind of come full circle, like their life has been fulfilled in a way. That's really, really special, you know? You can hear the passion and expertise here. I can really feel that. I don't think it just is like some random composer that was Like, hey, can you make it sound like these old machines? It sounds like they went through those old machines. That's what it feels like to me. I don't know, but that's what I got from it. That's my reaction. That was sick. Both of those were awesome. Yeah. Terraria. Okay. Well, I'm guessing, like I said, it has to do with, being on Earth in some capacity. Very outside Terra, right? The logo has trees and paths. But yeah, let me know about this one. The underground, is that background is that just like the random box art, or does it have anything to do with the song? Anyways, that was cool. That is my introduction to Terraria. I don't know how many other songs I have. And yeah, if by the way, if you know how to actually pronounce it, like if someone's actually said it, like a developer or something, Terraria, let me know, because I always want to say it correctly. But as far as I know, I don't think that's an actual word. Anyways, thank you to Justin, thank you to David, thank you to all my Patreon members that you see here. I couldn't be here without them. Thanks to you for watching. My name is Jesse. Take it easy.